This is season 2 of the story. If you haven't watched season 1 yet, make sure to watch it first. You'll find it in the pinned comment below the video. Now let's jump right in and continue the adventure. The story began with Professor Zhu greeting the president before informing him that Jiang Liuying had been arrested. She was now being held in custody and would soon be sent to prison after all the evidence against her had been confirmed. The president thanked Professor Zhu for the tremendous effort he had put into the case, but Professor Zhu explained that one important mystery still puzzled them. It was the identity of the person who had hired the Shadow faction to assassinate Sunrong, because the matter seemed far greater than an ordinary assassination attempt. Suddenly, the president received an emergency call, and his expression immediately changed. After ending the call, he informed Professor Zhu that an enormous wave of spiritual energy had been detected at the space station, specifically inside the competition arena of Faction 59. He explained that the global spiritual energy level had dropped at a terrifying rate within a short period of time. In addition, some spirit artifacts and spirit tools had completely lost their energy, causing a state of emergency throughout the entire cultivation world. Professor Zhu asked whether they had discovered the true cause, but the president replied that the investigation was still ongoing. However, what had happened was far from normal. As a result, the world's spiritual energy level had fallen to only 4.8. An extremely low value compared to the normal average. Even some cultivators had begun to feel a sudden weakness in their abilities. Professor Zhu told the president that he would personally investigate the matter, but the president stopped him, saying that he wanted him to cancel the sword competition immediately because the current situation was extremely dangerous and no one knew what might happen if the matches continued. After that, the story moved to chapter 60, where all the students felt deeply saddened by the sudden cancellation of the sword competition, especially since their team had delivered an astonishing performance and managed to defeat Faction 59 for the first time. Chen Chao looked at Wang Ling and said that ever since the competition had ended, he had barely spoken at all, as though he were preoccupied with something important. On the other hand, Sujiang wished that he was alright and expressed her desire to help him, confirming that he had completely changed ever since the moment of their victory. Meanwhile, the rest of the students were enthusiastically talking about their victory, while Wang Ling sat in unusual silence, as though he had no interest in anything happening around him. After that, the teacher entered the classroom and informed everyone that all the students had submitted their summer vacation assignments before thanking them for their commitment. She also explained that the Department of Education had begun paying great attention to the class after their victory over Faction 59. Therefore, the administration had decided to conduct a new spiritual energy assessment. Because of that, the spiritual energy test would be held that very day, and any student who failed it would immediately be removed from the elite class. All the students became anxious because this test was well known for its difficulty and passing it was far from easy. The teacher continued speaking, explaining that ordinary students who achieved outstanding results might be transferred into the elite class so that the competition would be fair for everyone. Sun Rong, Chen Chao, and Gao did not feel particularly worried because their spiritual energy had already become stable and reached the average level. However, they suddenly remembered Wang Ling. Sun Rong approached Wang Ling and told him that she could temporarily lend him part of her spiritual energy to help him pass the test. However, Chen Chao quickly interrupted and explained that his father had taught him a special technique capable of stabilizing spiritual energy for a short period of time, and that it could help Wang Ling pass the test. Sun Rong, however, refused to rely on someone else's technique and insisted that she would personally help Wang Ling herself. Chen Chao objected and began explaining that his technique was better and safer. Before long, the discussion between them turned into an argument in front of the entire class. Amid that chaos, Wang Ling quickly left the place without saying a single word. After that, he headed straight to the restroom, where his spirit sword asked him what he was planning to do during the test. Wang Ling calmly replied that it was a test of condition and endurance, not merely a test of strength. That was why it would be even more difficult for him. Suddenly, Guo Hao entered excitedly and told him that he had come to help him. He explained that he had spent the entire vacation learning how to create spiritual energy pills, and that if they worked together as they had done before, they would be able to produce enough pills to pass the test with ease. Wang Ling looked at him and said that the reason he was saying that was because he still had not reached the average level. Wasn't that right? The moment Guo Hao heard those words, he fell to his knees and begged Wang Ling to help him, explaining that if he were removed from the elite class, his family would punish him severely. Therefore, he had to pass no matter what. After that, Tun Tianha appeared while resting peacefully. But Guo Hao and Wang Ling suddenly appeared before him in a terrifying manner, making him tense up immediately after realizing that they were going to use him once again to produce spiritual energy pills. The story returned to the test, where teacher Wang explained that, unfortunately, they had been unable to find the dog responsible for the previous test, so they had no choice but to use a new system instead. He then explained that each student had to stand in the center and concentrate their spiritual energy, while the system would automatically measure their energy before determining the appropriate level of the electric trap. He added that any student capable of enduring the electric shock would be considered successful, while anyone whose body failed to withstand it would immediately fail the test. The students began talking in fear, and some of them remembered that this type of test had been dangerous in the past and could even result in death. However, teacher Wang reassured them, explaining that the current system was highly advanced and modern, that its electricity level was limited and safe, and that the medical staff were fully prepared to handle any emergency. After that, the test officially began. The very first student who entered was struck by an extremely powerful electric shock that sent him flying away before he was immediately transported to the hospital, making the remaining students even more nervous. At the same time, Guo Hao was secretly creating spiritual energy pills, using Tuntian Ha once again during the production process despite his objections. Guo Hao explained that those spiritual energy pills had to be taken a full hour before the test, so that their effects would appear in the best possible way. Suddenly, Guo Hao heard the sound of Professor Pan approaching the area. He and Wang Ling immediately became nervous and hurried to hide everything. The moment Professor Pan entered, the two of them acted noticeably nervous and tried to pretend that they were doing something ordinary. Professor Pan shouted at them and asked why they were there while all the students were taking the test. Guo Hao quickly apologized and explained that they had fallen into the water and were trying to dry their clothes. Professor Pan looked at them suspiciously before asking what was inside the furnace. She stepped forward to open it and discover the truth herself, but at that moment, Tuntian Ha suddenly jumped on top of them to distract her. During that brief moment, Guo Hao quickly took out the pills and hid them. Professor Pan returned to inspect the furnace once again, but she found nothing inside except a few tires and socks. Guo Hao nervously said that they had put the socks inside the furnace to dry because the place had been flooded with water. Professor Pan then told them to hurry and finish drying them before joining the test so they would not miss their turn. The moment she left, Wang Ling looked at Guo Hao and asked where he had hidden the pills. Guo Hao fearfully replied that he had swallowed them quickly and hidden them inside his stomach. Suddenly, his body began swelling in a strange way because of the concentrated spiritual energy. His face turned red and his body expanded in a terrifying manner. As for Wang Ling, he did not panic at all. Instead, he delivered a swift strike that knocked Guo Hao unconscious, causing all the excess spiritual energy and air to burst out of him at once. A short while later, Guo Hao regained consciousness without understanding what had happened, but he discovered that it was already his turn to take the test. He became extremely happy because he believed the pills had finally taken effect and that his success was guaranteed. However, the moment he looked at the clock, he discovered that more than an hour had already passed. Anxiety immediately filled him, and he wondered whether the effects of the pills had already worn off. With great fear, he focused his spiritual energy, and to his surprise, he successfully passed the test. He shouted with joy, wondering whether he had finally reached the average level. He was completely convinced that the spiritual energy pills were the true reason behind his success. At that moment, Wang Ling's spirit sword sarcastically remarked that the punch he had received had been more effective than the pills themselves. After that, it was Wang Ling's turn. Guo Hao looked at him worriedly and thought to himself that he had swallowed both pills, so how would Wang Ling be able to pass the test now? Teacher Wang placed the testing helmet on Wang Ling before looking at the data and informing him that his spiritual energy was clearly below the average level. However, the moment Wang Ling stepped into the testing area, his spirit sword suddenly issued a warning, announcing that the maximum energy level had exceeded the system's measurement limit. Suddenly, Wang Ling's spiritual energy erupted in a terrifying manner, causing the ground to shake violently. The spirit sword explained that the lightning discharge would continue until the formation had consumed all the surrounding spiritual energy. Teacher Wang shouted, warning everyone about the danger of the situation, while Sun Rong became frightened, insisting that Wang Ling might die like this. The teachers and students tried to approach and stop the system, but the spiritual energy had completely gone out of control. Suddenly, the spiritual energy level throughout the entire world began dropping once again, as though the test were drawing energy from everywhere. At that moment, one of those present shouted a warning that what was happening could lead to the destruction of the entire world. At that instant, Wang Ling grabbed the main cable, handed it to Sun Rong, and told her to use it quickly. Sunrong cut the cable with her sword, but the force of her strike was so tremendous that she cut far more than she had intended. Guo Hao and Chen Chao looked at her in shock and wondered where she had learned such a sword strike. After everything had calmed down, Wang Ling looked at Teacher Wang and calmly asked whether he had passed the test. Teacher Wang remained standing in place, unable to answer because of the overwhelming shock. After that, the administration declared that what had happened was merely a massive malfunction in the testing system so that panic would not spread among the students. However, the truth was that Wang Ling's sword strike had been so powerful that it created an actual crack in space. Because of that crack, humanity's spiritual energy gradually began leaking into another unknown world. At the same time, people spoke in amazement about how the place had not been completely destroyed despite the enormous explosion that had occurred. Teacher Wang angrily asked why they had been unable to disconnect the machine. Professor Pan replied that they should have lifted it upward instead of pulling it from the side. After that, the story shifted to the demon realm. Inside the Demon Council, one of the Demon Masters announced that a crack had appeared between the Demon Realm and the Human Realm, and that an enormous amount of spiritual energy had begun flowing into their world. After that, everyone remembered that the Demon Emperor had been sent to the Human Realm a long time ago with the goal of taking control of it from within. The Demon Master explained that their most dangerous disciple, named Yont Frog, had been sent to the Human Realm 3 demon years earlier on a secret mission. However, the surprising truth was that the Demon Emperor himself was living in the human realm as though everything were completely normal, sitting among girls as though he were an ordinary person. The Demon Emperor spoke angrily, wondering how so many years had passed while Jaunt Frog still had not returned. At that very moment, he sensed that the spiritual energy in the human realm had begun flowing continuously into their world. The Demon Master explained that they had to take advantage of this opportunity because the human realm possessed an enormous amount of spiritual energy that could make the demon realm far stronger. He then added that this might be the reason why humanity's spiritual energy had become weaker than theirs during the recent period. The Demon Emperor angrily asked what Jaunt Frog had been doing there all this time. The Demon Master replied that he would personally go and see what he was doing. Elsewhere, Tun Tianha was sitting comfortably when he suddenly received a message from his master, informing him that he was personally coming to the human realm. His expression changed immediately, and he fell into genuine panic. After that, the news began reporting the continuous decline of spiritual energy within the atmosphere, which had caused enormous problems for immortality cultivation and the production of spiritual energy pills, while raw materials had also become extremely scarce. Wang Ling was watching those reports with his father at home. Suddenly, Tun Tianha quietly entered the house. Wang Ling looked at him and asked why he had come, and Tun Tianha replied with a smile that he had missed him. At the same time, Professor Pan was speaking with Teacher Wang about what had happened during the test. She said that Wang Ling had always been the student with the lowest grades in the class, and she had expected him to be transferred to the regular class soon. Teacher Wang asked her whether she believed he had cheated during the test. However, she denied it, explaining that immediately after the test had ended, the spiritual energy within the faction had risen in an extremely strange manner, as though an enormous source of energy had suddenly appeared. Teacher Wang remained silent before leaving without continuing the discussion. Professor Pan called out to him and asked whether he was not going with her, but he apologized and told her that he had some personal business. Suddenly, the Demon Master appeared and contacted Tun Tianha directly. He told him that he would not be able to escape from his master. He then immediately pinpointed his location and began heading toward him, while Tun Tianha's fear became even more obvious. Jinkei looked at him in confusion and asked who that master was. Tun Tianha fearfully replied that he was an ancient immortal demon who had lived for millions of years. He had been his master for countless centuries and still appeared in his dreams. Wang Ling looked at Tun Tianha and asked whether that was the reason he had been hiding there. Tun Tianha merely nodded nervously before quickly changing the subject, after which everyone sat down together to have dinner. While they were eating, Wang Ling's father excitedly announced that he had finally developed a new talisman especially for his son, hoping that it would help him speak more naturally instead of remaining as quiet as usual. He also explained that they would test the talisman after finishing dinner and that Tun Tianha would be responsible for assisting with the experiment. At that moment, Wang Ling's mother informed everyone that his teacher was on her way to visit their home. Suddenly, Tun Tianha received another call from his master. His anxiety increased, and he hurriedly tried to hide. It was obvious that his master had still not pinpointed his exact location, but he was getting closer with every passing moment. After that, Wang Ling's father began installing the new talisman, but while helping him, Tun Tianha accidentally installed it in the opposite direction without noticing. Suddenly, Wang Ling's spiritual energy burst violently from his body, and the air throughout the entire house trembled. His father was shocked and said that the entire world might be destroyed like this. However, Tun Tianha quickly stepped in and began absorbing a large portion of that spiritual energy to prevent the catastrophe. At the same time, the demon master continued searching for him, and every time Tun Tianha moved or used spiritual energy, the demon master became able to pinpoint his location more clearly. Professor Pan arrived at Wang Ling's house at that very moment. The moment she entered, Wang Ling enthusiastically welcomed her with overwhelming energy because of the effects of the new talisman, leaving both her and his parents completely astonished by his unusually strange behavior. Professor Pan sat down and said that Wang Ling's grades were extremely low and that he had not submitted his summer vacation homework. Suddenly, Wang Ling immediately took out the homework and asked her whether she wanted to take it now or tomorrow at school. Pan was surprised, but she continued speaking and said that he had also been weak in the subject of spiritual energy pill refinement. Wang Ling immediately stood up, took out the pills, and said that these were the pills he had made last year. Professor Pan looked at him in surprise and said that was very good, but that was not why she had come. She had come because of his lack of interest in studying and interacting with others. Suddenly, Wang Ling performed a simple spell in front of her and asked whether that was what she wanted. Pan quickly replied that this was not what she meant and that a pen and an eraser would be enough. At that very moment, he immediately brought them to her. Wang Ling's mother looked at him worriedly and wondered what had happened to him. His father replied that there was clearly a problem with the new talisman. He asked his wife to keep Professor Pan busy with conversation while he went to try fixing the talisman before things got out of control. At the same time, the demon master was still searching for Tun Tianha and had begun feeling extremely exhausted from constantly tracking it. The father tried to adjust the talisman, but another malfunction suddenly occurred, and all the furniture in the house began moving and flying on its own as though it had come to life. Wang Ling tried to quickly organize the house and return everything to its place, but Professor Pan stopped him and said that she wanted to speak with him alone. The father continued trying to control the chaos, while Wang Ling grabbed Tun Tianha and helped him return the furniture to normal, one piece after another. During the conversation, Wang Ling's mother began telling Professor Pan about their lives. She said that they had never been particularly talented in spiritual cultivation, and that Wang Ling's spiritual energy had been weak when he was little. That was why he had been introverted and had not had many friends. She also explained that they had been very surprised when he entered the elite class. But what made them happiest was that he had finally started making friends and living a normal life. Professor Pan listened to her words and thought to herself that Wang Ling had never expressed any of this at school. His mother continued speaking, saying that she did not want her son to become a perfect student or the strongest one. She only wanted to see him happy. By that time, Wang Ling had finished fixing most of the chaos inside the house. However, his father stopped him and told him not to move because he had already consumed too much energy. He asked Tun Tianha to help him, but Tun Tianha was absolutely terrified and replied with a trembling voice that he was coming. Suddenly, the demon master appeared at the door and said with a frightening smile that he had finally found Frog. Tun Tianha was completely terrified and said that he had exhausted all of his energy and would not be able to escape this time. Because of his overwhelming fear, he immediately lost consciousness. The father panicked and tried to control the situation. Then, in an instant, he decided to remove the talisman completely in order to stop the catastrophe. However, the moment the talisman was removed, Wang Ling's spiritual energy erupted in an unbelievably terrifying manner, causing the entire house and surrounding area to shake. At that exact moment, the demon master opened the door and entered, but the spiritual energy struck him directly before he could even take a single step, sending him flying far away toward the mountains. A massive explosion shook the entire area and left almost no trace of the demon master. People outside began asking in fear about that sound and what had happened. Wang Ling's father looked around nervously and said that he did not know. After everything had calmed down, Professor Pan began thinking about everything she had witnessed during her visit. She said that after meeting the students and learning about their circumstances, she realized that evaluating a student did not depend only on grades, but also on their mental state, upbringing, and personal life. Because of that, she decided that from that day forward, She would focus more on the human and educational aspects of teaching rather than only on results and examinations. A short while later, Professor Pan looked at the clock and said that it had become very late and that she had to leave. The family said goodbye to her, and after she left the house, peace returned to the place once again. Suddenly, Tuntian-ha woke up from his fainting spell, looked around nervously, and wondered in confusion whether the talisman had been repaired. When he noticed Wang Ling standing there with a calm smile, he let out a sigh of relief and said that it was finally time to return home. However, as he started moving, he noticed the Demon Master's staff lying on the ground, broken after the explosion. Tuntian-ha stopped in place and stared at it in extreme fear. His eyes filled with tears, and he began mumbling frightened words, as though he still could not believe what had happened to his master. After that, the story returned to the past in the world of spiritual energy, where a young man appeared sitting calmly in the middle of the area. Then a very beautiful girl named Jiang Liuyue appeared. Everyone around her looked at her with admiration because of her beauty and dignity. At that moment, Adler told her that they were on an official mission and that it was inappropriate for her to use her beauty in that way in front of people. He then asked her whether she sensed anything unusual around them. Jiang Liuyue replied that a team called the Seven Stars was pursuing them and that they had most likely gotten close. After that, they appeared inside an airplane. The flight attendant asked the passengers to fasten their seatbelts, but Jiang Liuyue paid no attention to her words. The flight attendant repeated the request several times while feeling nervous, but Jiang Liuyue looked at her and calmly spoke a single word, causing the flight attendant to immediately fall silent as though she had been affected by her power. Jiang Liuyue then said that she did not need to fasten her seatbelt because she was strong enough. Suddenly, a massive explosion occurred inside the airplane, and flames spread rapidly. Jiang Liuyue fell from the airplane, and Adler tried to chase after her and save her, but he was unable to do so. It was said that this had happened 10 years ago. After that, the story returned to the present. Guohao displayed some old photographs and said that those two had once been the strongest people in the world, but they had suddenly disappeared 10 years ago, and that this had been the last picture of them before the accident. Chen Chao asked him whether they had died in the accident. Guohao replied that there was no clear evidence, and that rumors claimed they had been injured, disappeared, and were living in secret. They might even be close to the current factions. After that, Professor Pan entered the classroom and announced that a female student from the regular class had achieved outstanding results, so she had been transferred to the elite class. A new girl then entered the classroom. The moment Wang Ling saw her, he froze in place for a moment because he remembered what had happened long ago when he had created the new world. Back then, this girl had existed in that world instead of Sun Rong. The girl introduced herself and said that her name was Lin Xiaoyu. Guohao looked at her in confusion and said that he felt as though he had seen her before. After that, Professor Pan explained that Teacher Wang had an important mission that day and would not be attending the class. At the same time, Wang Ling was with Professor Zhu and they were searching for Jiang Liuyue. Suddenly, they found her standing directly in front of them. Professor Zhu immediately said that the target had been located. He approached her and said that Jiang Liuying was surrounded and that she should surrender. He then asked where she had been hiding all these years. However, it suddenly turned out that the figure before them was nothing more than a trap, and the place suddenly exploded. On the other side, the real Jiang Liuyue laughed as she watched what had happened and said that she was on her way to her sister. At that moment, it became clear that Jiang Liuyue was the sister of Jiang Liuying, the leader of the Shadow faction. After that, everyone was inside the school when they suddenly saw Jiang Liuyue standing before them. They immediately began running after her, but she disappeared mysteriously every single time. Wang Ling located her hiding place through her spiritual energy. Then he sensed that someone was approaching and quickly made everyone hide. Suddenly, Lin Xiaoyu entered the area. Guohao accidentally hit his head against the table, producing a loud sound. Lin Xiaoyu asked who was there. At that very moment, Chen Chao became extremely nervous and awkwardly started bleeding from his nose. Lin Xiaoyu became angry, grabbed a broom, and began hitting them with it. However, the blow struck an ancient statue behind them, and the ground beneath everyone suddenly opened, causing them all to fall below. Wang Ling immediately jumped down after them. Elsewhere, Jiang Liuyue met her sister, Jiang Liuying. Jiang Liuying asked her why she had come to this place. Jiang Liuyue calmly replied that she had missed her and had come to check on her. However, Jiang Liuying said that she wanted to escape from prison so that they could bring the Shadow faction back to life once again. Jiang Liuyue looked at her coldly and asked whether she really thought she had come to save her. She then explained that the mission she had been assigned was to kill Sun Rong, but that she had failed. Jiang Liuying was shocked and asked whether she had come to kill her, accusing her of betraying the faction. However, Jiang Liuyue replied replied that she was the one who had failed and that she had to bear the consequences. Before any clash could take place, the group of students suddenly fell from above. Wang Ling calmly said that they were sorry and that the two of them could continue their conversation normally. After that, Jinkei said that he had found a safe place where they could hide. However, Wang Ling accidentally transported them through the spirit phone into an entirely secret room. The room was extremely dark, and after they turned on the light, they discovered that it was the organization's secret hideout. Wang Ling asked why they had specifically chosen this room. Jinkei replied that all the other rooms were filled with monsters and dangerous traps and that this place had been the safest. While searching the room, they found a strange dagger. Lin Xiaoyu looked at it in astonishment and said that this truly was the secret hideout of the Shadow faction. At the same time, Zhang Liyue began telling her past. She said that she had met Adler long ago during one of the missions, and with the passage of time, the two of them fell in love. After some time, she herself became the leader of the Shadow faction and lived happy days for a while. But in a single day, everything was taken from her. She explained that she had spent 10 full years in the demon realm, far away from her lover, and that her mission there had been to translate documents between the human realm and the demon realm. After some time, she discovered a secret contract related to the Shadow faction, and through it, she realized that Zhang Liuying was the one who had burned everything in order to seize the position of leadership. Zhang Liuying replied that she had indeed wanted to become the leader, but she had not burned the faction. But Zhang Liyue shouted in her face, accused her of lying, and then explained that she had been sent from the demon realm specifically to kill her. Then she bid her farewell, saying that this was the end. But suddenly, Teacher Wang appeared and saved the situation, explaining that the truth was more complicated than that. At the same time, Guo Hao began explaining what had happened 10 years ago. He said that time had witnessed 3 massive disasters. The first was the crash of the sword ship that Zhang Liyue had been aboard. The second was the appearance of Jaunt Frog and his opening of a massive gate in the sky. As for the third, it was Professor Zhuo's ability to defeat the frog. Suddenly, Wang Ling connected everything that had happened together and understood the full truth. He realized that 10 years ago, when Wang Ling killed the frog, a massive explosion occurred in the sky, and that had been the true reason behind the fall of the plane carrying Zhang Liyue and Adler. Wang Ling himself had saved Zhang Liyue and placed her in the water, but because of the spatial distortion, she then fell into the demon realm. From there, Tun Tianha's story also began. In the present, Guo Hao said that Zhang Liyue had remained hidden inside Faction 60 throughout all those years, waiting for her lover to return again. Everyone was extremely surprised after hearing the truth, and Guo Hao said in shock that the 2 strongest people in the world had been waiting for each other for 10 full years. As for Wang Ling, he was holding his head, unable to process everything happening around him because he was still trying to connect the events together. At that moment, Teacher Wang looked at Zhang Liyue and told her the full truth, explaining that Adler was already standing before her and that throughout all those years he had been hiding inside the faction, waiting for her return without losing hope. Zhang Liyue looked at him for a moment, then calmly said that he had gained a little weight. He smiled and replied that ever since she disappeared, he had been eating so he could endure the pain. Zhang Liying became extremely angry as she watched them talking as though they were in a romantic moment, and she angrily said that they had wanted to kill her just moments ago, so they should kill her now, then. But the surprise was that almost no one was focusing on her, and everyone began leaving together calmly. In the end, they rode the elevator to go up. When the door opened, Teacher Wang was standing beside Zhang Liyue in a completely natural way. Wang Ling saw that scene, and his astonishment increased, especially when he looked at the old picture beside the elevator and noticed the clear resemblance. After that, the story moved to a new explanation from Teacher Wang about the maintenance of spirit swords. Teacher Wang began explaining that the more a person used their spirit sword, the more the sword would begin facing problems if it did not receive proper maintenance, such as its sharpness decreasing, its speed weakening, or its response becoming slower. He said that this might happen because the sword spirit was uncomfortable, or because of incorrect use, or even because of lifestyle and food, because all of that affected the relationship between the user and their sword. Zhang Liyue was seen sitting with Teacher Wang, asking him what should be done if the sword's condition was difficult. He calmly replied that she should read his special book about sword maintenance. Suddenly, one of the students said that his sword had not received any maintenance since its birth. Teacher Wang replied that the advanced spirit sword classes would begin next week, and that he hoped all the students would prepare their swords before then. After that, The students began talking about methods of sword maintenance. Chen Chao said that he had bought a full sword maintenance kit from the internet. Sun Rong replied that every sword had a different method of maintenance, and that his sword was large in size, so it would be difficult to repair it alone at home. Then she took out a VIP card for a famous sword maintenance shop and suggested that they all go there. She also invited Wang Ling to go with them. Chen Chao asked Wang Ling about his sword. Here they discovered that Wang Ling's sword had a very mature spirit, to the point that it maintained itself on its own. After that, everyone went to the Forest Spirit Sword Shop immediately, and Sun Rong used her VIP permit so they could enter. Inside the place, they found huge types and forms of spirit swords, and each one of them was amazed by the place in a different way. Suddenly, Lin Xiaoyu appeared, and it turned out that she worked there. Lin Xiaoyu began cleaning Guo Hao's sword with great care until it became shining in an exaggerated way. Then she said that she had been raised since childhood with a sword spirit. Guo Hao asked her about her family. Lin Xiaoyu replied that her sister, who was her own sword spirit, had told her long ago that her family had handed her over to her when she was little. Then Guo Hao asked her where her sword spirit herself had gone. Lin Xiaoyu said that she had disappeared when she was 8 years old, leaving her a note saying that she was going to Sajiang for maintenance and would return within 3 days. Sun Rong said that perhaps something had happened to her, but Lin Xiaoyu calmly replied that her sister had suffered from the same sense of direction problem that she suffered from, and that perhaps she had truly gotten lost. For that reason, Lin Xiaoyu worked in more than one sword maintenance shop, hoping that she would meet her one day. After they heard her story, Chen Chao was deeply moved, began crying, and said that she had not taken a new sword because she was still waiting for her sister to return. Lin Xiaoyu replied in embarrassment that the truth was that she did not actually have the money to buy a new sword. Wang Ling asked her what she would do in the spirit sword classes without a sword. Lin Xiaoyu fell silent because she truly did not have an answer. At that moment, Tang entered with a large group of swords and said that they wanted these swords repaired before tomorrow. Lin Xiaoyu was surprised and said that the number was extremely large and would need at least 3 days of work. Song replied that they had reservations throughout the entire day, and if he was in a hurry, then he should go somewhere else. A heated discussion began between them because of the pressure of work, but Lin Xiaoyu quickly intervened and calmed the situation before the problem grew bigger. She said that she would finish them by tomorrow because this was her work, and she would also earn some money. At that moment, everyone felt that Lin Xiaoyu's situation was very difficult, and they felt sad for her. Then Teacher Wang had an idea and suggested that they make her a new sword, and everyone liked the suggestion. At night, Lin Xiaoyu returned to her home, while everyone began preparing to create the sword. Chen Chao brought some tools. Wang Ling was responsible for designing the sword, while Sun Rong took charge of guiding them. Sun Rong first asked them to analyze the materials. Guo Hao placed his material, and it appeared to be rank E. Then Chen Chao placed a material, and it appeared to be rank C. Guo Hao was surprised and asked him where he had brought it from. The story returned to Chen Chao's father at the temple, where they found that the king's statue was missing, leaving them shocked. This was the source of the material that Chen Chao had brought. Everyone's astonishment to increase. Then Wang Ling placed his material, which was the Demon Master's staff, and it was so dangerous that it disabled the device. After that, they began creating the sword. The next day, Lin Xiaoyu came, and they presented the sword to her. Chen Chao said that they had thought about making it for her because of the class. Lin Xiaoyu cried from overwhelming joy. Sun Rong asked her whether she did not like the sword, and everyone began apologizing. But Lin Xiaoyu said that it was the complete opposite, because this sword resembled her sister. Sun Rong said that Wang Ling was the one who had designed it, so Lin Xiaoyu thanked all of them for the gift. Then Tang continued speaking and said that his sword had already undergone maintenance at the hands of the manager. Guo Hao replied that his sword had needed maintenance in the first place, because they had been about to destroy it. Tang became angry and asked to test the sword in front of everyone. Sun Rong said that she was one of the VIP card holders and wanted to test it first, but the manager gave Tang the right to begin. Tang attacked Lin Xiaoyu, so she stood before him in fear, her sword raised and her eyes closed. The moment the two swords touched each other, something strange happened, and Lin Xiaoyu's sword began drawing spiritual energy from Tang's sword. Before the worst could happen, Jinkei broke Tang's sword, prevented the catastrophe, and saved him at the last moment. After that, everyone went down to speak with Lin Xiaoyu, and Sun Rong embraced her while they were happy, and Jinkei said that the maintenance had been completed. At night, the Demon Master returned to life, looked at the sword with Lin Xiaoyu, which had been made from his staff, and then moved to attack her. It turned out that Lin Xiaoyu, whose body had fallen under the Demon Master's control, had begun to have the control completed over her body. The demon master began searching through Lin Xiaoyu's memories and saw who had made that sword using the ring of his staff. He discovered that Sun Rong was the one who had given him that sword. At that moment, he said that the monkey's son, the demon emperor, was now before him, and that the time for revenge against the demon race had come. Then he explained that this day was called the Autumn Gathering Day, the day on which people gave each other handmade gifts as a form of luck, and it was said that any wish made by the one who received the gift could come true. At that moment, Sun Rong came, and she wanted to give Wang Ling a gift, but she was afraid of the teacher. Then Lin Xiaoyu came and told her that she could give it to him after school. Sun Rong said that staying overnight at school was not allowed at night. At the same time, Zhang Luying was trying to break the prison she was locked inside because the spiritual energy in the world had dropped, and the prison had become weaker. After that, they talked about the Lunar Mirror Bridge. Guo Hao said that there was a belief that on the 12th day at night, if someone went to the mirror on the first floor, they might be able to see their future. Chen Chao said that today was August 6th and that many students would go there at night. There were terrifying rumors about the strange phenomena, but Guo Hao said that they were only rumors meant to scare people. At that moment, Sun Rong came, knocked on Wang Ling's head 3 times, then closed the door on him and said that she wanted to make sure he had understood the matter. At night, Sun Rong was waiting for him, and when he came, she felt happy. But suddenly, Guo Hao and Chen Chao came with him as well and said that they would not leave their friend alone. Sun Rong became nervous because she had wanted to give him the gift. They walked together, and Chen Chao became frightened by the sound of a cat. Then they found Lin Xiaoyu there, so his fear increased. While Guo Hao laughed at him, Sun Rong said that Lin Xiaoyu lived there, so she asked her to help them as a guide. Elsewhere, Zhang Luying broke the prison and escaped from it, then began laughing loudly. Guo Hao said that she was the spirit girl they were talking about. After that, they found strange things, such as a broken wall. Then they entered the bathroom, and there Zhang Luying tried to come out from the pipes. They heard terrifying sounds, so Chen Chao fainted. Then Guo Hao also fainted when he saw a hand coming out. Everyone ran, but Wang Ling intervened and pressed the water button, sending her back down again. Sun Rong came and asked about the hole in the place, so Lin Xiaoyu said that another story had come true, which was the story of the elevator that went to hell. Then she said that the moon mirror was the only thing left, and she left Wang Ling with her. The demon master was saying that when the gate opened, he would take that girl and go there with her, because her ancestors had killed a large number of the demon race, and today the Sun family had to pay the price. Zhang Luying came out again and smiled when she saw Sun Rong. Sun Rong told Wang Ling that if someone went in front of the mirror on August 7th, they would see their future, and that midnight was approaching. Suddenly, Wang Ling received an extremely powerful punch, sending him flying far away and falling to the ground, and the demon master was the one who had struck him. Sun Rong drew her sword, but the demon master was extremely strong. He grabbed her and said that this mirror contained interdimensional transfer magic, and that humans used it to stop the cracks of time and space that connected to the demon realm. After that, he said that he would use it to go to the demon realm, then announced his welcome to them in the demon realm. At that moment, Zhang Luying appeared from behind and said that Sun Rong belonged to her. Wang Ling returned and attacked. His strike reached the demon master and sent him falling into the demon realm. Then he struck Zhang Luying and pushed her away. Sun Rong lost consciousness and said in her dream that her scarf had been lost. Wang Ling smiled and said that he had finally found it. After that, Chen Chao was talking online with a girl named Fairy Fox. She sent him a gift containing medicine and said that she wanted to help his teacher because he was still unconscious. Chen Chao became very excited by her words and grew nervous when she asked him for a private conversation. After that, we see Professor Zhu's meeting, where they explained that the world's energy had dropped greatly and had reached 4.7. One of them said that the same thing had happened last year. Another person suggested that they create an energy wall, but a major disagreement occurred, and in the end, they decided to capture one of the demons and interrogate him. After that, Guo Hao told Wang Ling that Chen Chao's father had come. They were scolding Chen Chao because he had given his spiritual energy to a girl online. Chen Chao explained that he had done that because she was helping someone in need and was collecting money for her teacher through a live stream. His father was surprised at first, then calmed down a little, but in the end, he became extremely angry, broke his phone, and banned him from watching the live stream. It was explained that Chen Chao had given his spiritual energy to a girl online, and that this matter was connected to ancient magic and demon stories. They said that those beautiful girls were actually demons who changed their forms, drained spiritual energy from people, and weakened their bodies. Perhaps someone had used the same magic on Chen Chao before. At that moment, Chen Chao's voice was heard, as he returned to the computer room and watched the live stream again. Wang Ling said that the matter was related to demons then. Lin Xiaoyu replied that this was possible. Sun Rong asked whether there was no way to break this spell. Lin Xiaoyu explained something called meta spirit, which was magic that made a person with high spiritual energy enter the internet and break the spell from the inside. Guo Hao tried to use a virus called Trojan to disable the live stream, but the girl who was hosting the stream turned out to be smarter than him and destroyed the virus itself. So Guo Hao was shocked and began crying. Sun Rong looked at Chen Chao and said that he had become extremely weak and looked exactly like his mother. Then she said that if his father saw him in this state, a huge problem would happen. Wang Ling suggested that Sun Rong use the seduction method she had used before. Sun Rong offered Chen Chao a drink, and when he drank it, she used magic on him and controlled him, so he began moving away from the live stream. But the girl there pretended to cry in a dramatic way to stop him, and with that, the spell was broken once again. She said that the plan was going successfully and that they needed some additional spiritual energy to treat the teacher. So Chen Chao continued giving them his spiritual energy. Suddenly, Chen Chao's father entered and said that the heavenly dragon sword had come to him from his wife, then began crying over what was happening to his family. After that, Chen Chao sent more gifts, so the father's anger increased and he broke the computer and stopped him. The father tried to take him with him, but Chen Chao refused and said that he had entered another dimension. Then he connected himself with a cable to the computer and announced that he would enter the other world. Wang Ling said that this was meta spirit. Guo Hao was surprised how that had happened without him possessing enough ability. The father pulled out the cable, but Chen Chao had already lost consciousness. Sun Rong said that his spirit had entered the internet. Guo Hao tried to save him, and in the end, Wang Ling struck the demonic entity, pulled Chen Chao's spirit out, and returned it to his body. After that, the news announced that Master Gu had exposed an online demonic fraud operation that had been collecting spiritual energy. The energy had returned to its owners, but the demoness was still on the run. In another piece of news, the flower fruit company was facing financial problems, and its debts had ended in bankruptcy. While Wang Ling and his father were watching that, we see Sun Rong's family, and her father was calling his friend to ask for financial help. While everything continued happening, there was someone standing in a distant place, watching everything. Sun Rong took Wang Ling and the rest of the team to a place in the mountains, and there they were greatly surprised when they saw her setting up a camp resembling the life of ancient tribes. She took them with her, and they discovered that the Sun family was living inside a cave. Sun Rong explained that all of their possessions had been confiscated, and nothing remained for them except the land of their ancestors. Wang Ling asked her how that had happened. Sun Rong explained that their company had been making magical medicines, and when the spiritual energy in the world dropped, the crops failed, and they lost everything. Despite that, her family was trying to raise her spirits and saying that they would start again through work and effort. Chen Chao encouraged them, and everyone felt hope. Elsewhere, the Tang family was celebrating the collapse of the Sun Company. They thanked a mysterious person named Rich because he had been behind spreading the rumors about the Sun family, causing people to sell their shares. They were planning to completely end the Sun family and seize the cave they owned. The mysterious person said that he wanted spiritual energy in exchange for his help. After that, Sun Rong showed Wang Ling a place called the Spiritual Spring and said that in the past, it had been covered with water, but the spiritual energy had disappeared from it now. Wang Ling offered to help them, but Sun Rong refused and said that she would rely on herself. After that, while they were returning, a car passed quickly beside them and provoked them. Wang Ling looked at it angrily. On the train, they watched a news report saying that the Tang family would acquire the Sun Company and that there was a signing ceremony in a private cave called Water Curtain Cave. Sun Rong tried to contact them, but her phone was not working. Wang Ling said that the car belonged to the Tang family and that they had certainly forced Sun Rong to sign. So they decided to go and stop all of that. The Tang family had already begun the ceremony, and the father explained that they would cut down the old herbs and plant other things instead, despite the Sun family's objection, as they said that this would kill the spiritual energy in the place. The conflict intensified, and the rest of the team appeared, causing a clash between them and Tang's followers. Wang Ling ran toward Sun Rong to catch up to her before she signed the contract, and he arrived at the last moment, grabbed her, and pulled her away. But her father stopped him and reminded him of his promise. Sun Rong began explaining what had happened in the past and that the Tang family had offered them an old investment, but things had turned against them with the passage of time. Her father told her that she had to think about the families of 10,000 employees inside the company. They continued pressuring her until Sun Rong finally agreed against her will. Sun Rong said that if she sacrificed herself to save the family and the others, then this was her responsibility, and then she began moving forward to sign the contract. Wang Ling and the others left the place while feeling sad, but Wang Ling noticed something in the water and began searching. He pulled something out from under the water, and Chen Chao asked him about it. Lin Xiaoyu said that this was a worm star, an ancient monster that absorbed spiritual energy from the earth. Chen Chao said that this was the reason the spiritual energy had disappeared from the place. Wang Ling began pulling that creature out. The mysterious person said that they had found it, but it was too late because that star had absorbed all the energy. But suddenly, he was astonished and wondered why the energy was returning. Wang Ling and the others worked together and pulled the creature with force. In the end, Wang Ling became angry and pulled it out completely, so the spiritual energy began returning to the place. Sun Rong was about to cut her finger to sign the contract, but she heard a sound outside and stopped. The water began flowing again, and the shares of the Sun Company began rising quickly, while the shares of the Tang family collapsed, and one of their employees informed them of the disaster. An employee from the Sun Company said that the company was recovering its strength quickly. After that, Professor Zhu came and announced that he had come to arrest the Tang family because they were involved with demons. Sun Rong looked at Wang Ling standing before her and smiled. After that, a major event called the Spirit Sword Arts Gathering began at Shanghai School, and the students gathered to display their skills. 5 Grand Sword Masters were introduced as judges, including Professor Zhu, a teacher from Faction 59, and 2 members of the famous sword dance team. They said that they would evaluate power, performance, and the beauty of the sword style. The first prize was tickets to Skyloop. After that, they called the first contestant, Sun Rong. Sun Rong stepped up before the judges and greeted them. One of the judges mentioned that last year, she had broken her sword and sacrificed her sword spirit in order to win. They asked her what she would do this time. Sun Rong said that she would use her ancestors' sword style, Ocean Dance. Wang Ling calmly explained to him that he had only changed a simple position 2 meters forward, and that was enough to ruin Richmond's entire plan and return all the people he had been trying to control to their senses, making them fall under Sun Rong's influence instead of his. Richmond was shocked and asked him about his true identity. Wang Ling replied confidently and said that true control over energy was not through strength or quantity, but through understanding the system itself and breaking its weak point. Sun Rong looked at him, unable to comprehend what had happened, but she began to realize that the danger had not ended yet. Richmond tried to attack again, but the control was collapsing around him, and all the spiritual energy he had absorbed began slipping away from him. Wang Ling stood before him and stopped him, explaining that what Richmond had done was nothing but energy theft, and that the system he had used contained an obvious flaw. The people in the stadium were in a state of shock, while the millions who had been watching returned to normal after the control disappeared. Sun Rong gathered her strength again, stood beside Wang Ling, and the two of them began balancing the disturbed energy inside the place together. Richmond tried to understand why his plan had failed, but the entire system rejected him and began collapsing onto him. Amid that chaos, Wang Ling said that the end had not come yet, and that a larger part of the matter was still hidden. And with that, the grand performance ended amid intense tension, while everyone looked at one another in confusion, unable to understand exactly what had happened. Richmond angrily wondered how his plan had been discovered. Then he acted recklessly out of extreme anger and rushed to attack. But suddenly, the host appeared, pushed his body outside, and delivered a powerful punch that sent him flying far away. However, he had not been conscious in the first place, and the rest of the people also began moving forward. Sun Rong said that she could not free them from her control, but Lin Xiaoyu explained that they were not under Sun Rong's control, but had been infected by a demonic spirit. And so, they turned into zombies, and all those people began attacking them. At the same time, Liu Ling tried to deceive the guards by claiming that she wanted to go to the bathroom so she could escape from the place. But the guard was not fooled by her, and said that after the last time she had tried to escape, security here had become stricter, and she would not be able to manipulate his mind. Liu Ling became extremely angry, and suddenly, the magic Rich had used affected the guards as well. When she saw that, she became very happy and said that fate always created an exit. The three of them were hiding together, and Lin Xiaoyu said that if they stayed quiet, the zombies would not be able to catch them. They began crawling in order to escape, but after a short time the zombies caught them. They tried to escape from them in any way possible, and they actually succeeded. While they were running, Jinkei told his master that if they reset their minds, that magic would break. But Wang Ling replied that doing that might cause them permanent brain damage. After a while of running away, they reached a dead end. So Wang Ling made the two of them fly on his sword and got them out of the place. Lin Xiaoyu said in astonishment that such a small sword could carry 3 people and that this was amazing. Jinkei said that it was a magic sword, not a flying sword. They reached the top of the building, and Lin Xiaoyu said that they had to find a way to break this curse. Sun Rong asked Wang Ling why he was not affected by that magic. And suddenly, they looked down and found all the zombies climbing toward them. Jinkei said that his master needed his help, but Wang Ling calmed him down. Suddenly, Chen Chao's voice came. Then he ran toward Sun Rong and told her to go on a date with him. Sun Rong refused. The moment he heard the answer, he fell to the ground. And with that, the curse broke from him. Lin Xiaoyu said in surprise that he had fallen on his face, and the curse had been undone, meaning that the solution was to hit the zombies on their heads until they recovered. But Chen Chao said that his chest hurt. Sun Rong said that she understood, and that her rejection of him was what broke the curse. Wang Ling said that heartbreak was what broke the curse. Suddenly Sun Rong began shouting at the zombies, saying that she did not love any one of them, and indeed they were all freed from the control. Chen Chao said that these people had become fine, but there were still many people left. Lin Xiaoyu told Sun Rong that if they did a live broadcast, they might be able to cure everyone. But the problem was that there was no network at all. Suddenly, they heard Liu Ling's laughter as she said that they had found the cure quickly, but they were too late because the network tower was now under her control, and if they wanted to use their phones, they had to surrender to her. But because of the distance, they could not hear her well. Suddenly, they asked her to look over there. The moment Liu Ling looked up, she found a meteor coming toward her, and the meteor fell directly on top of her. Everyone wondered in confusion where that meteor had come from. Then Wang Ling looked and discovered that the meteor had been sent by Emmett and Rich. Richmond said that he had missed the target again. Sun Rong said that the network tower had been destroyed now, and she would not be able to do a live broadcast. Chen Chao said that they had to find another tower. Sun Rong replied that her family was the one who had built that tower in the first place, and that the nearest other tower was thousands of kilometers away. Wang Ling said that there was a connection somewhere. They all looked at the sky. When Chen Chao saw Sky Loop, he remembered that Sky Loop was their largest communication station, and from there, they could do a live broadcast to the entire world. Lin Xiaoyu said that the problem was how they would go up to space. Suddenly, Wang Ling took out 2 tickets to Skyloop, and they were the 2 tickets that had come as part of the prize. After that, Wang Ling made them ride on his magic sword and began flying with them. Jinky said that 4 people were too heavy for him. Wang Ling replied that he would give him 2 pieces of crispy noodles. The moment Jinkei heard that, he became extremely excited and immediately increased his speed. After that, they went down and found the zombies coming toward them. When they saw them, Chen Chao and Lin Xiaoyu stood in front of them. Lin Xiaoyu said that the ticket allowed only 2 people to ride the train to Sky Loop and asked Sun Rong to go with Wang Ling. Chen Chao told Wang Ling that this was an order from the class leader and that he had to go and save the world. So Wang Ling took Sun Rong and left, while Chen Chao and Lin Xiaoyu stayed behind to fight the zombies. Wang Ling and Sun Rong quickly boarded the train, and the train moved toward space. Wang Ling said that there was something he wanted to tell her. Sun Rong replied that she did not want him to hesitate because this might be the last day of the world, and he had to say what he had. Wang Ling asked her whether she was serious, and she replied that she was serious. He said that she had certainly noticed that there was no one checking the tickets there. Sun Rong had expected him to say something romantic, but she was immediately disappointed. Then Wang Ling said that Chen Chao and Lin Xiaoyu could have come with them. On the other side, the 2 of them had become extremely exhausted after fighting the zombies and had fallen to the ground. Sun Rong began the live broadcast and said that she was Sun Rong and that many people knew she had been raised under her family's care throughout her life. She said that when she was little, she had thought it was normal for her to be the center of attention. But when she entered Faction 60, she understood that the world did not revolve around her and that she was not the perfect girl. That was why she tried to work hard and improve herself. But after that, her family went bankrupt and she fell into depression. At that moment, she understood that the people who had been around her had only been there because of her family. She said that all she had wanted was people's love, and that was why she had entered the sword competition. After that, she received the love of the entire world. But now, she understood that she had been wrong. She said that she did not need everyone's love and apologized to them. Then she said that she needed the love of only one person, and that was enough for her. When Wang Ling heard those words, he was extremely surprised. At that same moment, Everyone's hearts broke, and the curse was undone as well. Everyone was freed from the control. Sun Rong told Wang Ling that the mission was over, and that she had rejected the entire world. Suddenly, an extremely massive meteor began approaching Earth, and Rich was sitting on top of it, saying that he would not fail this time. Then he returned to his true form and said that if he died, he would take the entire world with him. Sun Rong became extremely frightened when she saw that scene, but Wang Ling asked her to calm down, then threw Jinkei toward the meteor. Jinkei destroyed the meteor completely. Suddenly, the sky became very beautiful after the explosion. Then Wang Ling gave Sun Rong crispy noodles and she smiled. After that, we see something from the past, when Rich was attacking Earth. The demon master asked him why he was doing that. Rich replied that they had wasted their time on the sun descendants for nothing, and that their real enemy was the boy who lived with her. The demon master said that their goal was to control the human realm, not destroy it. Suddenly, the demon emperor said to let him finish, but during the attack, Wang Ling destroyed the strike and killed Rich as well. The demon emperor became extremely angry, while the demon master was saddened. Then the demon emperor ordered the dimensional lamps to be activated. The demon master carried out the order, while Wang Ling and Sun Rong were walking. Suddenly they entered a place, and everything around them transformed into a three-dimensional world. They were greatly astonished by what had happened. The demon emperor sent demons to Earth, and they began causing destruction everywhere, with an extremely massive demon among them. Professor He Bufeng gathered the world's stars and began a meeting. Professor He Bufeng said that he had prepared a strange system, and that 3 months earlier, there had been an energy cultivator who had created an extremely massive lightning strike. One of the professors said that his words meant he wanted to send their strongest energy cultivator there like a battery, so they could generate lightning that would eliminate the demons. Professor He Bufeng replied that this was exactly correct, but unfortunately, they had lost contact with their strongest cultivator. Suddenly, the great teacher said that they did not need him at all, and that if they wanted the best, then they should send him. Professor He Bufeng said that he was not strong enough to do that. He became extremely angry and told him to be silent, and if they wanted the best, then he would show them what he could do. Suzhong threw her sword. The sword spun and then returned to her again, so she realized that there was no exit from that place. Wang Ling said that they could try the sides. Then he touched the wall and said that he would break the wall. Sun Rong said that they were in space, but Wang Ling said that the guardian light would protect her. After that, he truly broke the wall. But when they looked in front of them, they found that there was no path they could continue through. Wang Ling said that they were trapped inside a special spatial circle. Sun Rong asked him what they would do now. He replied that his sword would have been able to break this trap. Jinkei said from far away that this was true if he had not thrown him away like that. It turned out that the trap Wang Ling and Sun Rong were trapped inside had been arranged by the Demon Emperor in order to keep Wang Ling away from Earth. On Earth, Professor He Bufeng and the 7-Star Squad were fighting the demons. As for Sun Rong, she was extremely nervous. Suddenly, Wang Ling said that he had found the solution. Wang Ling found the control panel and began changing some of its settings, then raised the graphics quality. Suddenly, everything became clearer and higher in quality, and even their movements became smoother and faster. But on Earth, a very large number of demons had already arrived, and they said that they had surrounded everyone from every side. Professor He Bufeng replied that they were the ones who had surrounded themselves. Professor He Bufeng released his spiritual energy and began attacking them with powerful lightning strikes. The demons rushed toward him to attack him. Professor He Bufeng shouted, asking them to protect the professor. And indeed, everyone cooperated and eliminated the demons that came near him. But suddenly, the Demon Emperor sent a massive demon, and it descended directly above the professor. Everyone tried to stop it with all their strength. The Demon Emperor and the Demon Master continued laughing loudly. Then they began sending large numbers of demons through teleportation, and the professor was trapped beneath them. From inside those carriers, huge numbers of demons came out, and Professor He Bufeng stood shocked by what he was seeing. Sun Rong said that the entire world had been destroyed, but Wang Ling replied that there was still hope. Then he said that this trap was like a 3-dimensional game, and if they made the graphics card collapse from the pressure, they would be able to break it. After that, he placed a mirror in front of him, released his energy, and asked Sun Rong to bring out her sword spirit. Together, the two of them succeeded in destroying the trap. Suddenly, all of the Demon Master's dimensional lamps shattered. Sun Rong said happily that they had succeeded, and that they had overloaded the system beyond its capacity. After that, Wang Ling prepared to return to Earth in order to save it. Sun Rong told him that if he returned, people would know his truth. He replied by asking who cared about that. Then he said that this was the time to show his power. And indeed, he returned directly to Earth and destroyed one of the demons with a single strike. Professor He Bufeng said in shock that the professor had returned, and the news spread that a mysterious person had suddenly appeared and destroyed the demons. However, just as Wang Ling was about to do something else, a mysterious girl suddenly appeared, spoke with him, took him away, and disappeared. The news soon reported that the butterfly girl had taken the mysterious figure, leaving Professor He Bufeng completely stunned. The story then returned to the past, where Lin Xiaoyu's father was teaching her to control her spiritual energy. Although she struggled, he encouraged her, saying she had almost mastered it. Lin Xiaoyu asked if she truly belonged to the butterfly race since all her friends could fly while her wings had never appeared. Her father explained that he had needed 10 years to learn, and that their wings possessed the rare ability to travel through time and space, a power the demon race had always desired. He warned that if another race captured them, the consequences would be disastrous. When Lin Xiaoyu worried that the demons might find them, her father promised to protect her. But moments later, countless demons appeared. He immediately opened a portal, threw Lin Xiaoyu through it, and sent her to Earth. From that day on, her sword spirit raised her. In the present, Lin Xiaoyu revealed all of this to Wang Ling, confirming that she was the girl who had taken him away. She explained that after conquering the butterfly race, the demons absorbed their spiritual energy to become even stronger. When Wang Ling asked if she had fought back, Lin Xiaoyu replied that the demon emperor had conquered thousands of races, and did not even need to lift a finger because his army fought for him. Wang Ling reminded her that the demons had once been defeated 10 years earlier, but she replied that he would understand everything once he met the emperor himself. Meanwhile, Earth had fallen into chaos under the demon invasion. As Professor He Bufeng wondered where the professor had gone, Sun Rong's live broadcast from Sky Loop suddenly appeared on everyone's phones. She declared that although the demons believed defeating the Seven Stars Squad meant defeating humanity, they had forgotten one important fact. Every citizen of Haikyuu was a spiritual cultivator. She called on everyone to fight in the streets, forests, fields, and skies until the very end. Her speech inspired countless people to return to battle. The demon emperor applauded her speech but mocked it as meaningless before ordering Lin Xiaoyu to bring Wang Ling before him. She obeyed and begged him to release her sword spirit. Instead, the demon master forced her to kneel and tried to force Wang Ling to kneel as well. But Wang Ling casually waved his hand and sent him flying. The demon emperor stood from his throne for the first time in thousands of years, saying Wang Ling must be the mysterious person Rich had spoken about. When Wang Ling asked if killing him would end the war, the emperor demanded his name. Wang Ling introduced himself as Wang Ling from Faction 60. The emperor attacked immediately, but Wang Ling blocked every strike effortlessly. At the same time, demons reached Sky Loop until Jinkei suddenly appeared and destroyed them all. He assured Sun Rong that anyone fighting Wang Ling was the one truly in danger. The battle quickly escalated. Wang Ling admitted he could not fight seriously on Earth because it would destroy the planet. The demon emperor tried escaping by flying around the planet at incredible speed, but Wang Ling easily caught up, stopped him, grabbed him, spun him around, and hurled him away. As Wang Ling prepared to finish him, the emperor admitted he could not understand how a single human had defeated someone who had conquered millions of worlds. Wang Ling answered that humanity had survived endless wars and would never bow to demons. At that moment, the demon master attacked from behind after discovering that the spiritual mark on Wang Ling's neck changed every week. Believing it was his weakness, he removed the seal. Instead of weakening Wang Ling, an unimaginable amount of spiritual energy erupted from his body. Everything around them began collapsing. The planet itself started breaking apart. Every demon died instantly, and even the demons on Earth vanished. Spiritual rain poured across the world, healing everyone's wounds while spiritual energy throughout the world increased dramatically. Lin Xiaoyu returned with her sword spirit and admitted that she had betrayed humanity, asking only that they spare her sword. Wang Ling simply told her to call her father immediately and tell him everything if she wanted to save the human realm. She obeyed without hesitation. Later, this conflict became known as the Second Demon War. He Bufeng was once again celebrated as a hero. Sun Rong's group became famous. Construction resumed, and the world gradually returned to normal. While Guo Hao and Chen Chao discussed the mysterious disappearance of the demons and wondered who the unknown cultivator really was, Sun Rong tried asking Wang Ling what had happened, only to discover that he was asleep. Soon afterward, Tun Tianha was finally released. After thanking Professor He Bufeng, he visited Wang Ling and happily said they had won the war. Since everything was over, he asked whether he could return to the demon realm for a visit. Wang Ling apologized and quietly replied that the demon realm no longer existed. Tun Tianha was left completely stunned. And that, my friend, is how anime ends. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to let us know in the comments. And of course, like and subscribe. Until next time.